psycho killer, Norman Bates, my producer slam. My flow was like bam, jump on stage, and then I did that. Oh baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. House nigga, yes, he's the feeling is laying on. Well, the most can be still far the truth. Well, we'll all say, well, I shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. All for an absolute charge, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodgers Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang killer hubbies on the swarm. Rain on your college ass, disco dorm. Well, you didn't even touch my skill. You gotta go to one killer B, anyway, for the kill now. Drop that down, pass all around. Lyrics get hard, quick cement to the ground. For any MC in any 52 states, I get psycho killer, Norman Bates. My producer slam. It was like bam, jump on stage, and then I did that. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. Yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, y'all. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Shimmy, y'all.
Yeah, just saying something gets some buffs.
Oh boy. You know, I gotta check the sound real quick. You guys know the rules on a Saturday show because producer John is not running this show. That means we get to go balls out. Okay, we're back, boys. We're back, boys and girls. My strongest soldier, Kiff, is in the house too. Special Power and Drew, of course. We can't forget about our pal Drew. Oh, I'm not even on screen. Boom. Okay, there we go. And we got like a special night tonight too, because I had a meeting today. I had a couple of meetings today, and not tomorrow, not next month, not even next year. But the plan that I have had for the last year and some change is finally starting to happen. Finally getting some stuff done, and I had quite a bit to drink, so it's even better too. So let's just get into it. Tommy's in the house too. Hammer and Nigel. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. There's a lot to talk about. This whole SB1 thing got me so fired up because I watched, for those who don't know, like I run most of the clipping on Indie Reporter. I'm the one watching all these committee meetings. And then I'm sending it over to the person who runs the Twitter site. I run the YouTube chat. So if you're ever in the YouTube chat, my strongest soldier, Kiff, of course, is in the YouTube chat. So they know how wild that I get on that chat, that I do not care. That is my outlet because I am not allowed to be on Twitter, at least not on Indie Reporter. On my main for King of Witties, I am allowed to do whatever I want because that is my main account. On Indie Reporter, I am not castrated, but definitely on a leash. So I've watched most, if not all, of these committee meetings, especially on SB1. It's very complicated, especially if you look at the bill. I don't understand any of it. All that legalese, I am never going to say that I understand what is going on. But I have been paying very close attention on the whole Michael Beckwith thing because was very curious on what was going to happen with him. Is he going to shill for Braun? Is he going to help him out? Or is he going to say, screw it, I'm going to throw him under the buster? So he was on Hammer and Nigel yesterday, and if you go on to Indie Reporter, the entire 20-something interview is on there, so you can watch it. But this was probably the most important part of the entire interview. So for those who don't know, SB1 is the property tax bill, the one that Braun wanted to put out. Now, what he gave to the Senate was this, I don't know exactly what he gave to the Senate, but it was supposed to be a way to lower property taxes for everybody. And from some of the people that I've talked to, maybe Kiff can help me out on this. depending how it's working out for rural people. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit too, because Mike actually brought it up. The property tax problem is happening mostly in the urban areas, in the donut counties, central Indiana, obviously, going into Boone County, Lake County, all these areas. The rural counties aren't really getting hit that bad by property taxes, but the farmers are. So, if you own some property in Muncie, rural, or even outside of Muncie, and your property taxes probably aren't getting hit that bad, or doesn't, yeah. Oh, I got something funny about that. I sent something over to Drew earlier. Hey, Drew, did you like that? That was pretty funny, right? I'm gonna play it a little bit, but rural counties aren't getting hit that bad from property taxes, but central Indiana, the donut counties, probably northwest Indiana, all these areas in like Allen and Monroe County. I actually got my property tax bill yesterday, and mine went up to $100 for the year. And then so I bought my house in 2019, and so far my assessed value has gone up almost $40,000 in just over 5 years, which is pretty freaking crazy when you look at it. When you think about it, it's pretty wild. And everybody else that I've talked to, like all their assessed value has gone up. And what happens with SB1, which Thompson said, I forgot his first name, but he said that local areas will be able to raise their income tax by 0.3%. Basically, the average return for property tax bills will be like $300. Now, it's not going to lower $300, by the way. It's still going to go up, but it's not going to go up that bad. So your property tax, you will get a property tax credit averagely of $300, but your property tax will go up no matter what. So this is eating the shit sandwich. Either you can eat half of it or you can eat all of it. That's basically what SB1 in a nutshell is doing. And the part that pissed me off the most was this clip from Micah. Now, everybody knows that we're not against Micah. We're not overly, like for the most part, we are pro Micah. I helped people vote for him. There were people that were going to vote for Julie McGuire, and I convinced them to not vote for Julie McGuire, and they voted for Micah. So if that says anything, overall, there we go. That's the word I was looking for, is we are a pro Micah show, but these 31 seconds is basically like the most important off of it.
Ultimately, this will put the responsibility in the hands of your local officials. Now, they don't have to raise the local income.
Hold on.
Ultimately, this will put the responsibility in the hands of your local officials. Now, they don't have to raise the local income tax. They could. They don't have to. Now, I think everyone assumes that, oh, well, they're just going to do it. Well, maybe, but then get new local officials. And it's easier to get rid of local officials than it is to get rid of state officials. It's easier to get rid of state officials than it is federal officials. We always want to downsize government to where the most amount of power is the most decentralized in the locals' hands, and that does allow for this to happen.
All right, so I watched all of that. I even I had to go do something, but I wanted to watch the entire clip and make sure that we put it on Indie Reporter. I sent it over because everybody on the Indie Reporter team lives in Marion County, and I was so pissed off when I saw this thing. I'm still pissed off by the clip, by the way, of him saying, "Oh, if you don't like your elected officials, just vote them out." Really, Micah? Because that's what we've been trying to do. But yet the GOP will literally rig the convention so they can get somebody else in there. And I wish I had I sent this over to John earlier, but it's going to get even worse for other areas. Now, I don't even want to get into it because my ADD is going to kick in for that because I want to talk about that, but I want to focus on SB1 and its property taxes. And basically what it boils down to is we cannot vote our way out of this whole thing. Marion County is cooked, and for some reason, Micah thinks like, oh, if you don't like your elected officials, just vote them out. And now Democrats could say the same thing. It's like, well, we don't want Republicans in there. We want Democrats on there because we care more about killing babies and cutting up children. And then Republicans on the other side, at least in Marion County, are like, hey, we don't like that. We actually just want to get our roads fixed. Hey, you guys want to go do all this crap, spend a couple $1 million on DEI departments while we have potholes with craters in the moon? that we are literally getting our rims bent and tires blown out. Dude, when I went to the convention, the GOP convention, there were so many potholes on 38th Street. When I was driving past somebody and they literally blew a tire out right next to me on 38th Street in Crown Hill. And you're going to tell me, oh, well, you know, it's so easy. If you don't like your local official, just vote them out. Really? Because last time I checked, fucking Shreve wanted to take away guns, and now he's in Congress. All right, I'm going to try and calm down a little because I'm getting pissed off, and I've been boozing up a little bit, so I'm even more pissed off. So anyway, I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I think right now, Micah's trying to save face. Overall, like, listen, everybody in the chat right now has talked to Micah or has some kind of connection to Micah, and they have seen him in action. Overall, I think he is a good guy. You guys can fucking cry about all his religious stuff, but overall, I think he's a good guy. Agree, disagree, I don't fucking care. At the end of the day, I think he does believe what he says about property taxes. There's no reason for it. Now, there was something interesting, too. Do I have it? Yeah, I do, okay. Which, Indy Spanglish stole my clip, by the way. But this is my point. We have reached a point in Marion County where we cannot vote ourselves. We cannot vote our way out of this whole thing. The corruption is so bad from the left and the right in Marion County that nothing's ever going to change. They have rigged the GOP convention so they can get that bitch Natalie Goodwin in there. That, by the way, has not been to a single township meeting. By the way, refuses to have meetings with people in general. Yeah, we'll see what happens on the 22nd and 23rd. What is that, next week? I think that's next Friday. Yeah, it's next week, or a week and a half. We'll see if she actually shows up for her meeting, by the way. We have such garbage leadership in Marion County. We're cooked. And the problem is all that cancer have spread out into the donut counties, and they are being filled with cancer when you have people like Josh Lowry or Matt McNally or whoever ran against Becky Cash. They all have the same platform. We must kill babies. We must cut up children. We must give more money to public schools so they can have fight clubs, and then they can totally trans up your kids too with their ideology. And then they get pissed off. All these superintendents that are making $300,000 are like, oh no, we actually want more money. We want more stipends, and we make sure we want a nicer car while we're at it. And what are these superintendents doing? Jack shit. So in IPS, 40% of the kids go to charter schools in Marion County that are eligible to go to IPS, Indianapolis Public Schools. And what do? They go to charter schools. Why? Because the public schools are so bad in Indianapolis. They're like, hey, guess what? I'm going to choose to take my kid to this other prison. That's for a different talk. Okay, we're not talking about that tonight. But that's my point. Is that in Marion County, things are so bad. There is no way that we vote our way out of this. There are just too many fucking retards in Marion County that we are just cooked. And I'm stuck in this shithole with these fucking morons that are saying, you know what? I care more about weed. I care about cutting up babies and abortions. And by the way, this is actually on the on Andrea Hunley and Greg Taylor's on their survey that they give out to people. They care more about abortions than they do about the roads. That is the fucking truth. How bananas is that? When I was out door knocking, there was this nice old black lady, and she was rolling up a blunt, and I said, well, what do you think about property taxes? And she goes, you know what? I care more about legalizing weed than the property taxes. Okay, so you care more about getting raped by the fucking government than about weed. You want weed. That is your primary concern. Smoking your fatty boobatty blunt. Hey, that's cool. Chill out. That's cool. But that takes priority than getting raped by the government. That's crazy to me. Bananas. And I would argue that most people that are in Marion County would probably say the same thing. If they had a priority, actually, what am I even saying? What am I even saying? Marion County Democrats that care more about weed than property taxes. This is why they vote dipshits like Hogsett, dipshits like Vop or Andrea Hunley. And by the way, Hunley isn't that bad, but she's just ideologically compromised. Nice lady, of course. But all these other Democrats that are in the Senate and the rep, in the city council, every position that they're in, they care more about the dumbest fucking things than they care about the roads and they care about property taxes, all of that. In fact, they would rather raise taxes, which I know, which when Micah says, oh, well, you know what? They have the option. Not to say they won't do it. Really, when has the government not wanted to raise taxes? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You give them the power to raise taxes. They're going to say, yes, daddy, I will surely rape the people a little bit more and barely with any spittle. I'm not even going to give them a drink. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them on a bed of nails. I'm going to pin their ankles behind their head and I'm just going to ram it in there. Raw dog that shit. No spittle, no nothing. Give me your money while I fuck you. Oh. I know you guys are getting a treat tonight. I'm not only pissed off, but I've also been having some nice pineapple and vodkas. And you guys, nobody's left so far. I'm still at double digits. This is a W for me. So that is my point. All right. So, so we're going to see the timeline of this whole thing because it is bananas. I've never seen anything like it. There'd be so much turmoil. And I've been so busy today with doing cleanups in neighborhoods in Drexel Gardens. I went to a pick and pool and help out a friend. And then I had a couple of meetings today, too. I'm not only tired because I got up super early, but I'm also a little bit exhausted. And, I've watched a lot of committee stuff, too. So anyway, this is what Dan Elliott talked about. He was on Kendall and Casey on Friday. Whatever, Drew. You know what, Drew? I know you're trolling me right now. I know you're messing with me right now. But we love Drew. Drew's awesome. He's one of the. He's vice of my soldiers. D2 Indy gets it too. Kif gets it too. But I would argue that if I could choose, guess what? Next Tuesday's show is the weed show. It is the Tuesday before your 420, and I'm going to debunk everything about what these propagandist artists are talking about weed. Make sure you tune in because you're going to love it. But Dan Elliott, our state treasurer, he Smasher Pez. Who, Casey? Are you talking about Casey, Drew? Oh, hold on. Tell me, Casey. All right. Should we talk about Casey? I'm just saying. Drew, are you talking about Casey? So Dan Elliott, who is our state treasurer, he actually went to the legislators and said, I got an idea. I have made the state $500 million in the last 2 years because of my investments. Why don't we lift up some of the regulations when it comes to how the city can invest money? So if they have a chance of investing money, like I've been investing money, basically like the Pelosi thing, you insider trading, then... It does, right? Thank you, Tommy. Tommy gets it. Dude, it's so delicious. It's so good. But he came up with this idea. Hey, why don't we give the cities, these towns, the power to invest their money? We're not going to regulate it so much. So, but then the craziest thing happens. It's about a minute and a half. This was almost a 10-minute interview with Kendall and Casey.
Okay, so let me recap because we're running short on time here. I want to make sure I recap everything of what you described. So I'm going to try to do this in about 1 minute. I'm a trained professional, so let's see if I hit this here. You, Daniel Elliott, have a program that you're using to invest money for the state. It's working great. You're exceeding all expectations. You go to the General Assembly and say, you have this major problem with property taxes. You're concerned about local governments losing money. Here is a way of what I'm doing with proven results that if we just allow the local governments to do it, they will make a bunch more money, which will solve your issue, which will allow you to cut property taxes for people and eliminate a lot of their lost revenue, which solves everybody's problem. Mm-hmm. Most of the senators and the legislators are on board with this. But one guy, Travis Holdman, who is a banker, who's in the banking business, he goes, nah, we're not doing that because that's going to hurt the banking industry, which I'm a part of, and I'm not going to screw myself and my buddies. So I'm going to not only not allow this to happen after I already gutted the bill that would have saved people a bunch of property tax money because I claim to be really concerned about the local governments. Not only am I not going to do that, I'm not going to make it harder for you to do your job with proven results and put my banking buddies in charge of what goes on.
That's
pretty accurate.
Yeah. Wow.
Welcome to government.
Wow.
And this is
all right. So if you want to watch the whole 10-minute interview, I think I even clipped it. It was much longer. I think it was more like 15 minutes, but I clipped like the most important part of it. So what Dan Elliott is saying is like, I had this idea, like I said before, but then Travis Holdman, allegedly he didn't say it because Travis Holdman is a banker. Not talking about Casey. Oh, who are you talking about? Smasher passed on who? Casey would be a really strong soldier too, I think. She voted for me too, allegedly. So basically, the senators, mainly Travis Holdman, cock-blocked Daniel Elliott on trying to open up the regulations. In fact, what they did is that they're going to regulate the treasurer even more. But I don't think it's just the treasurer. I think it's Diego too, because Diego fucked up so bad of going to India and going to all these out-of-country stuff that they're like, hey, we're going to have to start paying attention to exactly what money you're spending on. There was an article on it. I figured I'd throw that in anyway. But this was a very, we'll talk about it in a second. But this was a, yeah. This was very funny. I mean, some of the comments on here are very funny. This was from earlier today at 5:07, so just over 4 hours ago. Rob says everyone should give Micah Beckwith a lot of credit. Wanted to support governor in his in his party. Tried to see how SB1 could work for people and governments, but heard from so many wasn't working that he did the right thing and called for a veto. Listen to constituents. But I wanted to look at the whole timeline with Rob, and everybody knows that Rob is neutral to us. I want to go back to Friday because it's kind of crazy of like once it got released and SB1 got voted in. Becky Cash was an interesting one too. The only two Republicans that voted against SB1 was Andrew Ireland and Craig Haggard. And Andrew Ireland is a fucking G for voting against it. I mean, everybody needs to go glaze Andrew Ireland for stepping up and realizing like, hey, the party might actually try and go against him. And I think there's somebody outside. That's I had to go check. But like Andrew Ireland is sticking his neck out there because what he believes is right is that SB1 is garbage. This is my opinion, obviously. That SB1 is crap. And Craig Haggard, I think, is voting against it because Indie Reporter mogged him so bad the day before. We would have been curious if we didn't go after him. And he's most likely going to be running for Congress against Bo Baird. I think Jim Baird is going to retire. So I think what's going to happen is Craig Haggard is going to run for Congress, and then he's going to use SB1 as a stepping stool of, hey, guess what? I thought SB1 was terrible. And even though that I was in a different country, aka Israel, for 3 days to the point where they couldn't even hear my bill because I'm more concerned about trying to get more donations from out of country people than actually caring about the state that I live in, that the bills that I introduced and got through. That's what I'm more focused on. And, I hope we are going, Indie Reporter is going to mog Craig Haggard so bad when he announces that he's running for Congress. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But anyway, so Kendall actually retweeted us at Indie Reporter. Where is it? All right, so I guess there's some golf stuff going on. I don't pay attention to golf. You guys didn't. So the property tax bill dropped on Thursday. Two Democrats and all the two Republicans and all the Democrats voted against it. And then, so we'll see what happens after that. But people also need to realize there's like 2 weeks left until the end of session, right? 2.5 weeks until the end of session. There's a lot that could go on right now. All the heat that Braun is getting, all the heat that Beckwith is getting, it's going to be very interesting what happens. I think Beckwith is trying to save face right now. Of course, we have our fan, loyal viewer, Casey Daniels. I don't know if she's actually a loyal viewer or not, but everybody else talk about it. So this was so funny. Honestly, this was so funny, and you see like the coming up part. Yeah, you can see it. The coming up part. Indy Spanglish literally copied us. He literally just he took our thing and put it at our thing. And listen, we're we're fine with Jerry Lopez. We love Jerry Lopez. We just thought it was funny. It was like, didn't see that one coming, but that's cool. And this guy Steve Garpaz. Now this guy is obviously a lib shit, but he knows his stuff. I will take Kendall's word that this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to property taxes. I'll take his word for right now until further notice. I still think he's a lib shit, but what are you gonna do? Even lib shits even dipshits like Jesse Brown are right every now and then. Well, and we also know that Rob Kendall is not going to run for office. It'd be kind of funny if he did. It's just so much energy and time and money, and when you know that you're one of the most unliked people in the party, and I get it. Like I'm probably the most feared person in Indianapolis between the Republicans and the Democrats. Like they're all scared of me. It's actually kind of funny. Also, this guy says the time has come if we the people want action and taxes in the state. Kendall Gunn for governor. Here's what cracks me up. If Holcomb got 2 terms, Braun is going to get 2 terms. Okay, let's just stop this bullshit of Braun's going to be a one-time governor. Fucking Holcomb literally killed the state. He shut down the state for the flu. For something that has a 99.9% survival rate, and the only people that are compromised are people that have a low immunity and fat people. That's what it is. Which, when I say old and fat people, like everything else. So if Holcomb was able to get 2 terms, Braun is probably going to get 2 terms. Plus, we know that everybody has a goldfish memory, and they're just going to forget it if something good happens on the year of re-election. It is a little bit black peeling, but I still think we got a chance. I still think we got a chance. I'm not cautiously optimistic, but this is the time where we start totally trolling, totally mogging all of these elected officials. And there's some assholes outside right now blowing off fireworks in the middle of April, and it's pissing me off. I fucking hate this city. I cannot wait to leave Indianapolis. These dipshits, I cannot stand it. I know you guys can't hear it because it's through this microphone. If I had like this microphone on me, you guys would be able to hear it right now. These absolute scum people. I can't take it. I can't take it. Between the roads and these low IQ morons that vote for people like Hogsett and McCormick, Fiona McCormick and Carlino and dipshit Jared Evans, I'm just over it. Anyway, this guy goes, so Kendall says the taxes would be too low. The hospitals would be overrun with patients suffering medical issues, experiencing on how much of their own money they were allowed to keep. I couldn't do that to our medical professionals. And, he's partially right because the taxpayers by proxy, they fund these hospitals. And I saw this happen. Yeah, I know you can't hear it because I made sure that I have the settings so that you can't really hear any outside noise. The problem is when people are walking around, especially trying to off me. I'm just kidding. But people that might be going through my yard that I have a bunch of Rambo traps in, and they're gonna make delicious garden food. The dog starts barking, so you'll hear the dog. But my garden is very hungry and it's looking for some flesh. So if you assholes want to try and come through my yard, you're going to become tomato food. Just warning you. Don't say I didn't warn you because it did. I'm gonna laugh the entire time while you're being decomposed in my strawberry yard. So anyway, Kendall starts going off about Braun and Micah. This was the funniest part, that he just totally turned on Micah. And I bet that Rob is going to, hey, Rob, if you're watching this, you know that you're going to be giving Micah shit because he's your buddy and you can get away with it. And that's fine. I'm not going to message or call Micah, even though I could, because it's really not, it means nothing to me. Mike already said that I get to be security for his team when he's in the Marion County Town Hall. So that's good enough for me right now. I just want to know when the Greg Taylor videos coming out because we're going to be doing movie night. All right, so the last hope to stop the horrific Braun Beckwith. This was super funny. The Braun Beckwith tax hike. This was last night at 8:30. Is the angry red-shirted teachers rally on Monday, which I think is at like 10 o'clock. Yeah, Caleb is so true on this. If Democrats would drop their obsession with abortion and transgender stuff, they would get support from Hoosiers that are sick of spineless Republicans. And that is probably the truest thing that you will ever hear. But the problem is the Democrats have been infiltrated and hijacked by lunatics that think that if you cut off your dick, you are automatically a woman. If you have boobs taped to your chest or added onto you, you're automatically a woman. So if you take your pee-pee off and you turn it into a meat taco, all of a sudden you're a woman. It's kind of crazy, but you know, they're never going to let go of that. They're always going to be on the side of boys playing in girls sports. They're going to be the meat taco party for sure. The hot dog taco party, and that's what they're going to just die in the hill of. I should make shirts about that. Hey, join the hot dog taco party, boys. So anyway, Kendall goes, I urge all senators to not gut the public safety and public education they claim to care so much about during the SB1 hearings. Do not approve these massive Braun Beckwith hot tie. This was the funniest thing when it's the Braun Beckwith tax hike. Hey, you're a lieutenant governor, therefore you're going to be getting the heat too. You know, this was very funny. I think this was a plan by Kendall to like just put heat on Micah. And even this guy, he goes, we're on the same side of things of like, hey, you know, property taxes suck, but what are we going to do? Rob wants big savings and he'd prefer servers to be maintained. And to be honest with you, this guy would be okay with the taxpayers funding everything. And I would point out, well, look at California, look at Illinois, look at all these blue states and how much of a deficit that they're in. Let's take a gander. What's the tax clock or some shit? Is that what it's called? Yeah, the U.S. National Debt Clock. Where are we at right now? Oh, the national debt is at $36 trillion. That's crazy. I would have never guessed that, huh? There's also the state debt clock too. So let's look at Indiana real quick. Our debt ratio, our debt to GDP ratio, which I think GDP is totally fake and lame. You guys can debate that on yourselves. That's just my opinion. I think GDP is fake and lame. But anyway, 12.24% is the GDP ratio. If we look at California, they are 15%. Illinois is at 14.5%. Let's look at Michigan. They're at 16.74%. Wait, what was Indiana again? Oh, God, 12.24%? That's so crazy. I can't believe it. And one would say if you want to use GDP ratio as your metric of the W's or the L's, so far Indiana is winning. What? Got Ohio? OH. Hey, everybody, OH. IO 13.09%. So even then, and I can guarantee you this is going to get worse in the coming years because they legalized weed. And it's going to get so much fucking worse in Ohio. Because you're going to have all these morons that are going to be like, holy shit, Kentucky's at 20%? That's crazy. That's crazy. See, this is what cracks me up about all these legislators are like, well, we got to compare ourselves to other states. Actually, we don't. We're winning, okay? Why are we going to compare ourselves to losers, all right? Why would Tom Brady compare himself to a third-string quarterback? He doesn't have to. Well, plus he's retired, but when he was in there. You know, all these top-level athletes, why would they ever compare themselves to some armchair quarterback? Shut the fuck up. What's New York at? 19.33%. Okay, so there's got to be a percentage. There's got to be a way to figure out the percentage of the population compared to food stamps. So right now the population is 19.4%. For New York overall. Food stamps is 2.9. And no, this is going to be a rough estimate, by the way. There's got to be a way to do the percentage on this. Somebody who's smarter than me could probably figure this out. But I'm also live. So we have 6.8 million population, and food stamps are 604,000. Probably not that bad. If someone can do the population, that would be pretty cool. What's California at? 15.37%. Could you do or like an X amount of population is on food stamps? Now this is just a rough estimate, right? You know, there's no real math behind it, but my point is on this whole thing of Democrats would rather totally bankrupt our state than just taking care of the obvious, whether it's roads, whether it's public safety, and all this fear mongering from the left of like, oh, Republicans are actually the really want to defund the police. That's not true, because this is what fear mongers do. They go to the most extreme. Well, how about this? How about we get rid of the free needle program? How about we get rid of some of these DEI departments, especially in Indianapolis? How about Brandon Sacknuts not spend $3.5 million on a fucking pool, and he thinks that he's going to make the money back off from cabanas? That's really what's happening, by the way. That was one of his proposals. Oh, we're getting this tax money from the casinos. Why don't we spend $3.5 million on a pool? We can make some of our money back if we rent out the cabanas. How much? $20 at a time? You fucking bum. Get the fuck out of here, you dope. Anyway, so he goes back and forth for like this was what time? 12:01 a.m. He's going back and forth on this whole thing. So you're upset about taxes getting cut, and the revised SB1 does nothing for big business. And by the way, taxes are not getting cut. And they're saying, well, you're going to get cut on this section, but you're just transferring it over to the local governments that will raise it up 0.3%. Yeah, the overhauled legislation additionally phases in major increases in the acquisition cost social from 80,000 to $1 million. Blah, blah. Review would have phased the tax itself out to 130. And here's the other thing too that they're talking about. Any report I got, you will have next to zero chance to stop these lit increases, and you'll likely get hit with a school referendum too. This is so true about the school referendums, especially in Marion County. There are some portions of Marion County that will say on school referendums, but overall they love them. They love anyway, because Democrats love raising taxes and wasting your money. And here's the thing too that people forget: Republicans overall, at least conservatives, they are driving the speed limit to the next thing. In 10 to 15 years, they'll say, hey, you know what? We have one trans person, an elected trans person compared to your 20. We're not the real bigots. And they are just driving the speed limit. All of these people, most of these people, 99.9% of these people have no moral compass. They just want to do what will get them elected. There are very few people, especially in Indiana, that believe what they say, that they say, I am a conservative. These are the values that I believe in. We should not have this. And this is the fine line that you draw. This is my opinion. This is what I will do about it. Because it will take years for something to happen if you have an opinion and you want it to become law. And we saw this with the amendment to not allow basically drag queen story hour that Andrew Ireland had, and it was about sexual shows. God, I'm gonna butcher it. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it right now, but obviously Andrew Ireland, the King Ireland, he was able to take on 3 OG Democrats that were trying to batter him down, and like a fucking G, he comes up and says, actually, that's not what's happening. And then they had no response to it. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. It was Dvorak and Matt Pierce and Delaney. And by the way, I agree with Pierce and Delaney on the SMRs, and that's about it. So, Rob is obviously mogging Mike Braun and a little bit of Micah too. What is this? I didn't see it. 1.3 billion in tax relief for 3 years. Yeah, it's 1.3 billion in tax relief, property tax relief over 3 years. And there was something else too about you will own nothing. It's just funny. This is the first time I'm seeing it. This is actually very funny. You will own nothing and be happy. Here's the deal too. You will always be paying property taxes. There is never going to be a time where you are not paying them, because guess what? IEDC, not just the main one, but also the new one, the business of entrepreneurship and innovation, the mini IEDC, wants your money to give it to everybody else. And that is 100% the truth, because as Ed Soliday said, oh, we have to have competition with the rest of these states. And I would say, fuck these states, all right? If they want to go waste their money on something that's unproven, let them. How about we just build our own? How about we just build our own ideologies? We build our own culture. We're not going to waste money unless it is a sure thing. And we are not going to do anything if it is a detriment to the taxpayers. We are going to focus on commerce, aka the roads. We are going to focus on making sure that we have good public safety, aka trying to get Ryan Mears out of office and getting rid of these garbage fucking judges like Jennifer Prince Harrison out of there. Good thing Mark Stoner retired. But this is my point on all that stuff. We need to focus on what government is actually in place for. And if libertarians would get their head out of their ass, Ethan Hatcher, I was listening to him. And by the way, we like Ethan Hatcher. I like Ethan Hatcher. I've only met him one time. I think that he's just been brain fucked by Jehovah's Witnesses. And now he's just so angry about things. But we still loved Ethan Hatcher. Like, libertarians have a chance to totally mog Republicans in Marion County to the point where, like, you know what? I'm just going to take over your party. I'm going to hijack it. We're going to be more right-leaning because going after the Fed and saying we need to get rid of everything and just start all over again is kind of a bad idea, because that is not a good talking point. It's not a good winning strategy either. Most people, 99.9% of people, do not like extreme ideas. Those people are on the fringe. What they want is, hey, I want to be able to go outside and not blow my fucking tire off or blow my rim out. That's what I really want to have at the end of the day. Now, what they don't want is, they don't want some guy that's getting released after shooting his wife, killing his wife, and only getting 100 days in jail, extra days. It's more like, I don't know, someone might have to correct me on this, but I think it's like $400 or $500 or 405 days for 400 to 500 days in jail because of a plea deal. We even saw that guy from Texas who was all boozed up and then he killed somebody on Mass Ave. And what happened with that? He got a plea deal. He got a slap on the hand as usual. And by the way, next year, Ryan Mears is up for re-election, and I'm sure the GOP is going to put up some asshole that doesn't care, and he's just there as a paper candidate. And it's very obvious that libertarians won't do anything because they don't believe in the rule of law for the most part. And so, Rob Kendall starts going off. This is a very funny picture, too. This is from The Incredibles for all you old heads out there like yours truly. This is very funny. Braun and Beckwith are doing exactly what Democrats would want them to do. If they sign this deal, they will be one term and will 100% deserve it. If Holcomb got 2 terms, Braun will get 2 terms. Stop confused. Stop thinking that that's anything is going to change with that, because it's not. You have a choice. This is your choice. You either have Micah Beckwith or you have Destiny Wells. And pick your poison, basically. And I will pick Micah Beckwith every single day of the fucking week, okay? And, Jamie Rittenhauer, I don't even know what Jamie Rittenhauer is doing, and I like her overall, but I don't know what I don't know if she's just trying to stay relevant or what. Here's an idea, Jamie. Try and get based people in elected positions. Oh, this was something. California also appears to have a 1% property tax rate, so that's the same as Indiana's. Their sales tax is 7.25%. So rate-wise, Indiana is honestly pretty close to high tax California. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. You know what? Screw it. Hold on. Actually, this is a standard Actually, California is the same as Indiana, which is just another low IQ take. All right, hold on. We're just gonna do Indiana to California. I just don't. Let's do. What is? Wait a second. My fourth grade knowledge is keeping up with me. Okay. So California and Sacramento, because we're just going to compare state capitals, all right? The cost of living in Indianapolis 30% cheaper than Sacramento. You would need a salary of $52,000 in Indianapolis, Indiana, to maintain the standard of living you have in Sacramento. Median home costs 48% cheaper. Basically, everything is cheaper. Food, housing, rent's not on there. Utilities, commute, health, personal. Everything is cheaper in Indiana. No child care, taxes not considered. 30% lower in Indiana. So this low IQ take from this guy, obviously. And he's just talking about the middle class, and I'm talking about everybody. And this is what pisses me off about this whole thing. Like J.D. Prescott's bill, I think it is a garbage bill because it doesn't help out renters. I think if you're going to say, I understand that renters vote Democrat 99% of the time. But coming from a guy who used to rent for a long time, we got to help them out. And this is my favorite one from Jesse Brown. Fucking K-hole Brown. Rob and I don't agree on everything, to put it mildly, but we agree that it's slimy to pass a bill that raises taxes pretending it is a bill for tax cuts. All Hoosiers should unite in demanding honest government. Jesse wants to raise taxes in Indianapolis. Did you guys not know that? Oh, God. Fucking, maybe the wheel. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I'm going to have to go this far back. I think it was in 23. I think it was in 23 that he brought this up. Holy fucks. I can't believe I have to go this far back. I wasn't even ready for this thing, too. Come on. Oh. Let's see. I know this is going to be very, very boring, but I know there was a post, and I used to save it. HB 1634. Which one is that? Math education. Yeah. Yeah, that one's very interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Kiff, what do you think about that? Because this would automatically enroll a student who meets certain conditions in a middle school advanced math course. Allows a parent or student to opt out of an automatic enrollment if your kid's doing so well that. What is this all about? I would like your opinion on that one, Kiff. This was on my deleted, my everybody mass reported me like a bunch of fucking bitches. And they got my account taken down, which I had everything saved on there. I had everything bookmarked. And then a bunch of bitches got me reported, basically. Holy crap. So funny. I thought it was in the summer. It was after he won. Oh, did he delete it? He deleted it? Wow, I think he deleted it. That's crazy. All right, so Micah Beckwith also had this 12-minute thing. I only watched 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes of it before the show started because I just found it. And he was explaining about SB1 and what he wants to do. But Political Spotlight basically had a breakdown of it. So let's just listen to it real quick. It's only 2 minutes.
And I think he really liked this idea, is to teach locals how to engage in the budget process in their communities. Because really, we can fix the process right now. The state could come in and tell all the locals, this is what you're doing, end of story. but it's always going to lead to a problem 5 years down the road. Why? Because property taxes are bad to begin with. All we're doing is making a bad system a little bit better. It's never going to be good. So then 5 years down the road, someone else is going to come in, or 10 years down the road, you'll have a new governor, and they'll change it all. You need to be equipped to be able to know how to read budgets, know how to petition your councils, your county councils, your city councils, to make sure that they are not increasing your taxes and spending tax dollars wisely in a way that benefits you as a local citizen.
This is so funny because he's expecting. This is something that that us and that Indie Reporter and Ethan Hatcher had a little dispute about the other day. Is that Micah is expecting that people are good, and you know what? We don't. We're realists. We understand that people are not good, and I'm tired of people thinking that overall people will say, "Oh no, I will do things as long as I will." Is somebody already watching this right now? I just saw a like just flag up on there. That's so funny. Overall, like, I think people are shit. Now, you could say it's like, oh, then everybody would be doing shitty things. No, people are afraid of the consequence. But if you were to take away the consequence, like we are seeing right now, especially in Marion County, people will do bad things. And things will only get worse unless there's a consequence, which is why I say we cannot vote our way out of this whole thing. There needs to be mass consequences. And I'm not talking about something crazy. I'm not talking about like Luigi bullshit. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna have to start putting pressure on these people, and you start with social media. You find their social media pages, and you just start mogging them. Oh, really? Well, yeah, I could see that. I commented on that in the thread. Which thread? Ugh. Hold on. But stop dumbing down, kids. Is that what 1634 does? I might have to go back and watch the. I don't know. All right. I'm gonna go back and try and find the committee meetings on that. Did I just see SEL on here? Oh, SEI, to the extent that SEI. Which S? Hold on, real quick. State Educational Institution. Oh yeah, these acronyms. I hate. Oh. Why is yours? Where's your? It shows a comment, but it's not on here. Oh, haha, that's crazy, Kiff. Employees to kick you off the ballot for even trying to run for office. Yeah. Placing elected officials. Yeah, you saw that, huh, Kiff? Yeah, that's crazy. Should we talk about that? I think we should talk about that in a little bit. That's 1197, right? It's what they did to John. Yeah, 1197. So true. My strongest soldier, reliable. Kiff knows what's going on. If there's any based person that I know, it's Kiff. Kiff should get the Wabash thing or the Sagamore thing, whatever it's called. So this is why my whole point, what I'm saying about this video is that Micah thinks that, oh, well, we just need to teach these pet people that, hey, guess what? We need to be fiscally sound. We shouldn't spend money on dumb things. Hey, if coming down the road we're going to get less money, we should probably be ready for it. And Micah does not understand these elected officials are puppets. I think of Brandon Sackbun, who's getting totally, he has fingers up his ass right now. I don't think so. That's what I've heard, but I don't think that's going to happen. You have people like Brandon Sacknuts, who's being run by AEI right now. I think it's AIM. Who's getting run up by AIM right now, Accelerate Indiana Municipalities. He's all part of that plan with, let's see, members right now. He's part of that whole group with AIM. That's why him and Sue Finkum had their hand held during the SB1 meeting. Shit, I know I have it around here. Hold on. Our purpose. Your purpose. Oh, there it is, leadership. All right, so theirs are the people. If these are the enemy right here, Columbia City, Mishawaka, the CEO, Matt Greller. Who else is in there? Tom Dermody from LaPorte, Matt Gentry, this fat dipshit, Matt Gentry. Obviously, Hogsett's on there. Chris Jensen, fat dipshit number 2. Mark Myers, asswipe. Vop Osley, asshole. Brandon Sackbun, fingers in the asshole puppet. All these people that are part of this leadership group, all these officers and board of directors, they are your enemy. These people hate you. And I can promise you that these people hate you, that they will throw you against a wall if it has anything to do with AIM, whereas it has to do with, hey, we want to make sure that we get more money. And if you're trying to fight back on that, they're going to throw you against the wall and they're going to gaslight the shit out of you. Do not trust any of these people, especially Chris Jensen. He's the fucking worst. And Mark Myers. This is why Greenwood is turning into a shithole, is because of him. This is why all these foreigners are just getting locked up in there, or getting put up in there, because you have all these apartment buildings getting built up, and they're saying, hey, guess what? We need to find people to fill them up. Let's get all these foreigners in there, and they're just going to get money from the taxpayers, $400 a month from the refugee joint, Exodus Refugee, and they get furnished apartments at that. So, AIM is definitely up there. So, Kendall, obviously, he starts changing his tune a little bit today towards the end. Tax bill showing up in Hendricks County. Perfect timing as the governor Republican House told Hoosiers to go fuck themselves just 2 days ago. Official Braun position, you should be happy with a $500 increase. Shut up and pay. So this is really funny. My property taxes are not that much. I just got mine in Marion County going up almost 39%. That's almost $800 more than... I'd like to know this, how much his house is. Mine went up $200 a month, by the way. But there was a circuit breaker that got put in and I actually saved like $300. I think that's what happened. Sweater vest Jensen. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Do not trust anybody that wears a sweater vest. Trust me, if there's anything that you can trust me on, do not trust anybody that wears a sweater vest. That is like the what is it? The velvet? Not velvet. What is it? Like the sign. What is it when you're a whore? And then you have the scarlet letter. That's their scarlet letter. Yeah. If the sweater vest is their scarlet letter. I cannot wait for somebody to start clipping all this stuff and sending it to Rob or Abu and all this stuff. I'm not talking shit about Rob. I will talk shit about Abu, obviously. All right. So then Micah today at 3:22 today. This was probably the funniest thing ever. I've been on the phone all day with Hoosiers and government officials alike talking about SB1 property tax bill that the legislator is sending to the governor. Nobody understands this thing, including me. And during that interview with Hammer and Nigel, and then whatever he talked about on that Facebook thing, he admits it. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with this thing. I have my counsel and other people in my department trying to help me out and figure out this whole thing. And to be honest with you, I don't know what it means either. I don't know what any of it means. When I say like these things are a part of the bill, it's because Jeff Thompson said it. It's because Democrats were questioning him about things, and then this was his answer, like the 0.3% increase for lit. Like, oh, your property tax will still go up next year, but just not as bad. And there will be a $300 tax credit, depending averagely for the state. This is what I'm worried about. Should I even talk about it now? Okay, yeah, I'll talk about it now. Hold on. I got to get me a little drinky poo. Woo! You! Ugh, I just caught the bottom of that one. Ugh. Anyway. This is what I'm worried about rural communities. they won't have enough money for all, I mean, just basic stuff, whether it's public safety or schools or whatever. And then what they will need to do to compensate for that money is that they will need to bring in more solar panels, more wind farms, and the SMRs. And they'll say, and then what they'll get in return is money, is subsidy money. And they'll say, hey, you know, those property taxes, you thought they were going good for you, but in fact, it was fucking you over. So to make up for that, guess what? All these renewable energy projects will come into your area, and then you'll get the money off of it to make up for the money that you're not getting that you were supposed to get. That is probably my biggest worry of what's going to start happening, not next year, but maybe the years to come, is that you're going to see all these rural areas with more solar panels or wind farms or SMRs, all because of this property tax bill. And they'll have no choice. They will be handcuffed. And this is the short-sightedness of that you see with legislators, with Braun. And this is why they need people. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying, like, they need people like me to understand what the long-term consequence is going to be. And if this is what you're okay with going to bed at night, knowing that the rural area that you're from, Braun, is that they are going to be compromised by these garbage, toxic, ugly solar panels, and they'll have no choice but to put them on there because they have no money that they were going to be allowed to raise, even the 0.3% of lit. But then that money's just going to be transferred over, all things depending, of course. You know, I don't know how the farmers are going to work on it, sweater vest and the shoes. Yeah, it's so true. Drew knows about the shoes. Dude, there are things, you like my ADD tonight? There are things that you know about certain people. And I am very big on judging people by their looks. I do not give a shit whatever you say. This was a psyop back in the day. We're like, huh, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Well, guess what? I do, especially fat people. But if you look at people's shoes, and we saw this at the convention, by the way, Drew actually pointed it out, of like certain shoes, like Ryan Mears will do the same thing too, if depending on the shoes that you're wearing. And the sweater vest is a dead giveaway. So Micah Bethwick goes on there and he says, you know, the governor needs to veto this thing, call a special session, and demand the legislators pass something that the average Hoosier can understand without hiring an army of lawyers and accountants. And I think Jeff Thompson is you know, this is just I am going to get lit right now. But well played, Drew. Well played. But this is what I think. And this is just from the outside looking in, not knowing Jeff Thompson or any of this stuff. But like I think Jeff Thompson is a smart guy overall. He is terrible, like the absolute fucking worst about trying to explain SB1. Like, I think in his head, he knows what it is. If someone asks him questions, he will be able to explain it. But to have it like in a pop-up book form for the normies to understand how bad you're going to get raped, he is terrible at it. And this is just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth from a guy that has watched all of these committee meetings. No, yeah, there are some clues for sure. Yeah, your clues are kind of like, what's the word? Am I esoteric? is that the word I'm looking for? They're like, who gives a shit? Like their glasses or something. Well, actually, I can't even go back. I can't even say that because I just said the other day. There's like certain glasses you have to do too. Is that the word? Okay, it's not esoteric. That's the wrong word I'm using. But anyway, but yeah, Polly's right too. We gotta watch out for key things. There's like remember those old Comcast commercials, like we all bundle? It's kind of like that. We're all wearing the same crap. Be unique, but don't be what's the guy, the libertarian that wore a boot on his head that was running for president? Don't be that guy. So anyway, Micah putting the pressure on Braun and the team. Rob Kendall obviously points out the obvious. They were always right. Jeff Thompson, who wrote a property tax bill, no person with a reasonable level of intelligence could understand. And Governor Braun, who has no idea what he agreed to, are probably super pissed. Beckwith spoke up for the people and said this bill sucks. We have all been saying it. Like, this is the goal of the bill. Is the goal there? That's what we're wanting to do. That's literally all you have to do. This is what we wanted. Are we getting that? And then Braun, I don't know. I don't think I have it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Find it. real quick because he wrote something too. He's like, hey, we've been getting a lot of hate mail from these people. We're going to make sure that what we're doing on there is right. Oh, yeah, here it is. All right, so we have heard from several Hoosiers since my property tax bill was announced yesterday who are concerned about it. Let me be clear. I agree to the deal that delivers meaningful property tax cuts, eliminates the proposed full phase of the business property taxes. Very important, by the way, and cuts the local income tax rates by 23% from 3.75 to 2.9. The deal puts a cap on how much locals can tax their income. Without the bill, they could tax their income. Because that's not actually what's happening. It's the other way around. It's going up. They have the option of raising it up. So what is it? It will lower it to 2.9%, but it will give the local. Is this what's happening? Yeah, boomer shoes. That it will get lowered to 2.9%, but the local government will have the option of raising it 0.3%. So it's actually like, that'd be very interesting if that's what's happening. I trust the deal described above and what is in the amendment the House passed yesterday, but I have our team going through line by, here's the point, most important, but I have our team going through line by line to verify all the language matches the deal. If we find errors or it doesn't do, so why was this not done beforehand? This is the point that is annoying everybody. You said, hey, this is what I want, and then now you're backtracking. It's like, hey, we want to make sure this is what we got. Then why would you even put this out? Define meaningful, exactly, from Wade Hampton over here. De-linking code enforcement, health department fines from property taxes. I mean, I don't know. This one is kind of funny from Indian English. But that's the whole point. Like, what exactly does it do? Nobody understands what it actually does. And here we go, Rob shilling for Micah because Micah went up on his soapbox. Obviously, we're not talking crap about Rob or Micah before we get put on WIBC again. But this was our point, and to, Micah's credit, obviously, he is putting himself out there. You won't see this from Suzanne Crouch or Julie McGuire because she voted on SB1. Wanted to support governor and his party, tried to see how SB1 could work for people and governments, but heard from so many it wasn't working, and that he did the right thing and called for a veto, listen to constituents. And that's what, where is it? If you go on to Indie Reporter, that's what this whole 21-minute interview was about. At the beginning, Micah was like, hey, you know what? This is going to turn into a year-by-year thing. Hey, first year is this, second year is that, third and fourth, and then into leading it. Well, that's not what you promised when you were voted in. That's not what you promised when you were running for office. You were like, hey, this is what we're going to do, damn it. This is how we're going to get it done. And I totally understand that. And I knew, anybody with a fucking brain knew that whatever you wanted, you were not going to get, and we were not going to get. There are people that this is what people do not understand. And I try to not be as doomer-pilled or black-pilled as I could definitely be, because I don't want you guys going into work every day as a nihilist and saying, what the fuck is the point? I'm trying to give you not hope, but not the worst thing ever. And this is my point. Politics, we are ruled by psychopaths. They do not care about us. And you can tell by who gives these people money. It's the lobbyists, all these big corporations, whoever and whatever. Diego is the perfect example of it. Is that when money, or actually Jared Evans is the perfect example of it. He was anti-development, and once TWG gave him $1,000, he started shilling for whatever TWG wanted, the City Hall project that's going to turn into a brothel. I mark my words, that's what it's going to turn into. It's going to be into Mistress Hotel. It's going to be all these athletes with all this money, and that's where they're going to be hiding their side piece. They're going to have all these goofy-ass orgies inside of that hotel. The floors are going to be very sticky. But these legislators do not give a shit about us. This is why indie reporter. What I will be heading the game on this whole thing is the trust hierarchy. This will be our official trust or do not trust for all the legislators. Democrats will not be in it because they should never be trusted. 100%. There's not a single Democrat that I would ever trust that is in office. This is for Republicans because since they're the supermajority and we need to know who we should and should not trust. And it's basically already done. We just have to put it together. Now, Micah, on the other hand, this is where I don't trust Micah because at first he was be like, no, SB1's actually kind of good because of all this crap. But then now he's changing his tune 24 hours later and is saying, actually, it's not that great and we should veto it. Micah needs to focus on his job. And his job is making sure that he's reaching out to the people. There was a platform that he was running on when he was running for lieutenant governor, and it was transparency, it was honesty, and it was communication. And he's doing a good job in communication, but his team is crap. It is absolute crap. His team is loaded with dipshits that send out emails 2 times a day while they're getting paid $80,000 a year. And the problem with Micah is that he wants to be the top of the food chain because obviously he's very ego driven. And I'm not saying like as a dig, but Micah needs to humble himself a little bit and understand that the people that he is under his purview in his department are compromised. And that is 100% the truth. Dude, you have a Fed in your office right now. We found the guy. You have a fucking a former FBI agent in your office right now. And you think that we're going to trust anybody in your department? You're crazy. And I hope that all of you that are listening right now, all double digits of you, and because I'm sure most of you all have like a direct link to Micah. Like I said before, I do too, but I'm not going to message or call him because it would be completely pointless. That guy took months to even reply back to me. It's like his office is compromised, and there's a very, very high chance. Actually, I'm not even saying there's a high chance. It is 100%, especially after that it's proven that there are people in his office that are there to make him look bad, to make him look incompetent. And we can smell our own when it comes to, I can smell my own when it comes to certain people. And it's like, hey, sometimes we march to the beat of our own drum. Polly knows that. Yeah, I mean, Micah is very ego driven. Yeah, we've known that for years. Polly knows too. Like we've been to certain things where Micah is speaking and he'll just go off on a tangent. And I pointed that out too with some of these videos that he's done with the interviews and stuff. Micah is kind of his own thing, and he wants to be the highlight of the party, all the eyes on him for whatever reason. Me, I just like to observe. I am a spy. I just, I want the truth. That's all I want. That's all I ever want from people. Don't bullshit me. I think everybody in the chat right now probably agrees with that. Don't fucking finger my asshole. I just want you to tell me the truth. Don't bend me over trying to butter me up with your fingers, trying to roll around inside my boon hole, trying to milk the prostate, all right? I'm not going to allow that to happen, okay? Just look at me in the eye and tell me the truth. Am I getting fucked or not? Probably not the best analogy, but it's the best I got for right now. Is that too much to ask for? And now we see that Micah isn't as smart as he pretends to be. Maybe not as smart, but he's not aware of what he pretends to be. Because he goes on Hammer and Nigel's show and he starts putting up SB1 like it's this amazing thing. It's the first step of multiple steps, which, by the way, he never said that was going to happen. And what happened was now he figured out, oh shit, I talked to real people and they said this bill is going to totally fuck me over. And now he's figuring it out. Now, if I were Micah, I would be questioning everybody in my office right now and saying, whose fucking side are you on right now? And why are you not telling me the truth? If you want someone to be on your side and tell you the truth, and you are legitimately running on the truth, you will. I'm not, I'm not saying this as like, hey, Micah, hire me, but you should definitely be paying attention more. Stop with the interviews with people. Stop trying to have some biography with your AI glasses. Stop with all these extra things that you're doing. I'm fine with the trolling, by the way, but for the most part, you need to start paying attention and understand the department that you're leading is compromised. You have bad agents in your department right now that are looking to totally make you look like a dipshit. And this Hammer and Nigel thing, and then the following 24 hours that happened proved it. You were lied to. You were not given the entire truth. You need to clean house of your department and find some based autists. You need to find some warts, damn it. Tell me, am I not telling the truth, Drew? Huh? Micah needs to find some warts. Just saying, okay? I don't know anything about that blonde chick. Didn't she get butt fucked on like the first episode? And and then banged her brother? All of you in the chat have some link to Micah. My ask from you is to everybody either message him or email him or find some way of contacting him and telling him your department is compromised. You have bad people in there and you need to vet them all. If I were him, I would just clean house. But that's just me. I don't trust anybody except for my my soldiers, Kip and Polly and Drew. Oh, and D2 Indy. If D2 Indy's in the chat, D2 Indy gets it. So anyway, where is it? And so Rob is he's shilling Micah the entire time. Ugh, this is disgusting. All right, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. All right, so anyway. We should all want from our elected officials is to listen and respond. Beckwith wanted to support the governor's property tax plan, but heard from so many Hoosiers it didn't work for him, so he's calling for a veto in special session. Listen and respond. A+ job, Micah. Oh, who's this? This Indiana is back person. Oh, that's so funny. I own you. You are my bitch. This is so funny. D2 Indy, one of my soldiers. For those who don't know, D2 Indy was the creator of the Indie Reporter logo. So when I'm gonna make some merch for Indie Reporter, and D2 Indy is definitely going to be getting a hat and or a shirt. I need to know your size, D2 Indy. And when we eventually meet each other in person, you will be getting a hat and or shirt. So anyway, Indy is back, said he saw you call out Omar by name. He was listening to all rural voters who said property tax wasn't an issue for them and only is in the donut counties where the people keep voting for referendums. Michael only listened to you, not voters, and was a good little boy when you told him. That is so funny. But interesting that he mentions that, because in that Facebook video, Micah does say like rural voters are not getting hurt by it. It's mostly the people in the donut counties. Yeah, Wart is a W. So what do you mean, Polly? Expand on that. Like because once she gained power, she turned into a maniac. That's the other thing that I said I was worried about when Micah won lieutenant governor. I said, now he's going to have all this power and he's going to be like, I'm right on everything. You guys are stupid. And then he's going to try and gaslight and everybody thinking it's like, well, actually, it wasn't my plan. It was somebody else's plan. Even though I said, hey, this was a good bill. And then 24 hours later, I say, this is actually a bad bill. You can't trust these people. Yeah, D2 Indy is a G. So this was funny. Yeah, I already pointed that out. Yeah, and then Micah or Rob's shilling for him. All right, so that's basically my whole rant. I mean, just over an hour on this whole Beckwith thing. And if you're in Marion County, we're fucked. I don't know how to say this any better. Is that amp's an option, and that's the truth. Drew, me and Drew have talked about this a lot of times. We cannot fix it, so therefore we will destroy it. We have to burn it down to the ground, and hopefully what comes out of the ashes will be better. There's a good chance it won't, so we have to come up with a different plan. And this is my plan. We have to let Marion County burn. We have to, the only way to set the point or get the point across to these dipshit Republicans is to, I hope Micah dislikes politicians as much as the rest of us. I don't know. I think, hold on, let me get this thought out of my head, and then I'll go to that. But there's no way to save Marion County. It's dead. It's over. There's the Red Wall, which is South Indy, and it's being chipped away every single year by these foreigners coming in that just want free shit. And we see this in the Burmese population. For all of you out there that's saying like, oh, the Burmese is actually conservative. They are culturally conservative, and their culture is crap. But they are politically left. If you will give them money, they will vote for you. This is why Perry Township has been turning more and more blue, especially like the last year. Wart merch. Yeah, I'll do Wart merch too. I'll get a big old order in for Vistaprint. What we have to do, this is how I look at it. The time for revenge is at hand. I said this last month. We have to prove to the Republicans that we are not afraid of them. And if they fuck with us too much, we will let them lose. We will make them lose. And the very first person that we have to do with that is Michael Paul Hart. We have to run a campaign against him, a strong enough campaign, as a libertarian, of course, to make sure that he loses his election. Because right now he is the leader of the Marion County GOP. And why is it so important that he loses right now? Well, because he is leading this brigade, this army, this idea that Indianapolis needs AI so bad. And right now he is the vice chair for the AI board. Dan Boots, by the way, doesn't give a shit about it. It's because Democrats are the supermajority in Marion County, so he has to be the chair of the board. But in reality, Michael Paul Hart is the one running the show. So if we want to slow down the AI, the security state, the 15-minute city in Indianapolis, we have to make sure that Michael Paul Hart gets voted out in 2027. And that is 100% the truth. Because libertarians will automatically take 2 to 3% away. And his area is turning more and more blue. It is not turning red. He barely won his last election. And if the way that's going right now, he will barely win this next election. And we need to make sure that we put the final stake in the heart and show the Marion County GOP. We got to give them the middle finger and said, this is what you get for fucking over the people. We're going to start taking everybody out one by one, where it is just nothing but blue. Because once it turns blue, by the way, Marion County is going to have a very interesting problem, because there are a lot of these boards, there are a lot of these meetings that they have to have a Republican in them. And if they can't find a Republican for decorum, for voting on stuff, they can't have these meetings. That's the other reason why I want there to be no Republicans in Marion County in any elected position, because that means they can't vote on certain things. They're going to have to change the rules, which would be hilarious. So right now there's just 5 Republicans. We take out, it would be easy to take out Michael Paul Hart right now. Perry Township is almost blue, so Mowry and NA are next. I like Cahill and Bain, so they're really not on my radar. Yeah, bingo. You can't install artificial turf and expect grassroots to grow. Well said, Drew. Very much well said. Which goes into the next part. I think I'm done with my mic. So everybody's gotten the point, right? Micah's compromised. His department's compromised. Micah's department is compromised. He has bad actors. He has people in his department that are wanting him to look like a buffoon. And someone needs to reach out to Micah. I'm not, because he won't listen to me. I'm just some guy that talks in front of a microphone and talks shit on Twitter, who's had a bunch of fucking accounts banned because I want pedophiles thrown off of a given helicopter rides. Is that too much to ask for? I feel not. But this goes into the next thing. HB 1197. This was authored by Wesco, who is a Holcomb boy, a Holcomb sweet and cute little guy, who I think married his sister. Hold on. I mean, does it not look like these two are related? I'm just saying. It's kind of weird. If you were to say, "Oh, you guys are married," it looks like you're related. Kind of weird. Tiff, what do you think? And we talked about the inbreeding before. All right, so what this bill does is that this would allow. All right, let me just break it apart real quick. We all remember Jack Sandlin, right? He died. He had a heart attack, and so they had to have a caucus, and who was going to replace him? So they had a caucus. It was all the people that were elected PCs, only elected PCs, I think, and they voted in Cindy Carrasco. John Jacob was trying to run. He lost. Now now when you are running, so if you have a caucus like this, like a lot of elected officials will have, including Lakeisha Jackson, because Jean LaBrue, she died right after the primary. She died right after the primary, and then Lakeisha Jackson was caucused in, but then it was the same year that there was an election and she won. Republicans will never put anybody against her. She's on like the Far East Side, and it's such a high density of a black community. There's no way a Republican will ever win. So anyway, what they will change it to is where you could have people appointed into those positions instead of people that are elected. So exactly what we saw with John during the convention was we had 300 plus people get appointed because it was able to be a PC and a vice PC, and they were able to be appointed as long as you lived in Marion County. And they voted for Natalie Goodwin. That's how Natalie won. If it was only elected PCs, John would have won handedly. But because Republicans want to fucking cheat, this is what happened. So this bill would allow for the same thing to happen, but for a caucus. So say if Mike Young wanted to retire, hey, I'm done. I still have a year of my elected official position, but I'm going to leave. Then there would be a caucus that would say, we're going to vote for, then whoever wants to run up as the run for senator, they could appoint people to vote for whoever their guy is, which would be Philip Clay. Philip Clay is going to run for senator. Philip Clay is obviously establishment, 100% establishment. Hendricks County's cooked. Hancock County is cooked. Boone, Hamilton County is totally fucking cooked by Ragu. And then Johnson County is most likely cooked too. But this is what would happen.
I got 15 or 20 people, or chairman members of the Senate. Well, Senator Good says the committeemen are the people. Well, that's true. They are the people. But they don't live in my district when they come and vote.
There we go.
There is no law that says that if there's a special election for a legislative office, that any person that goes and votes at that caucus has to live in the district.
Boom.
Has to live in the district.
That's the most important part. And this is how they're going to rig things from now on. They saw that it worked for the convention in Marion County, and this is how they will make it work. Now, I don't know if there is a timeline of like, these people had to have been appointed within the last 30 days, but we already know how that worked for the Marion County Convention. We know that they were appointing people up until the last 2 weeks of the convention. And you're going to, oh, where's your proof at? Well, there is no proof because they were never able to supply the information on when those people got appointed, which is 100% the truth. If Natalie Goodwin actually wants to make good that she's actually one of the good people, she will release the information of how many people were appointed during the convention and how many people are and when those people were appointed. This is what we want to know. When were they appointed and how many people were appointed to vote for Natalie Goodwin and John? And obviously the numbers will be revealing because we all know that the only reason why Natalie Goodwin won was because it was rigged. Here's the funniest part. Aaron Freeman voted against this amendment. I believe all the Democrats voted against it, but Freeman voted against it, which was the funniest thing ever because he endorsed Natalie Goodwin. He endorsed a woman that he knew was the election was being rigged to let her win, which is the funniest thing ever. Which makes me think that Freeman got pressured into voting for Natalie Goodwin and endorsing her. I think this is one of those, like, I know that I had a gun to my head, and this was only second reading, so we still have one more reading on it. On the amendment prevailed. Oh, this is second reading. And this was from Kyle Walker, which apparently this is how Kyle Walker won too, was by caucus. So they just want all these swamp creatures to be appointed by people that don't even live in the district if that time ever comes. And the thing is, there's so many boomers in the Senate that they're kind of getting ready for it. They saw that it worked in Marion County. They said, hey, why not just do all elections like that then? And for Democrats bitching about this thing, they do the same thing. Let's stop pretending that they would not do the same thing, because we saw, who was it? Jean LeBrew was going to have a primary challenger. It was going to be Keith Graves, his daughter, Chunia Graves. But then the election board, who's run by a Democrat, or the clerk, who's run by a Democrat, said, actually, it doesn't look like she voted in Marion County in the last two elections, in the last two primaries. And then she challenged it, and they weren't able to find any proof. LeBrew won the primary, then she died. And then that's when Lakeisha Jackson got in there. Yeah, where are the bodies? In fact, Kyle Walker. They're probably next to the bed that he told his son to have in his Tahoe so he can fuck some tasties. This will be a pretty short show tonight. Only 2 hours. But, I'm obviously going to be paying attention to Micah and what he's up to. Oh, he was at that Charlie Kirk thing too. It was so funny. It was on Thursday. They were in recess. No, he's supposed to be having a meeting on the 22nd with Natalie. We'll see if it actually happens. So Micah. That's a chick, isn't it? Pretty cool. Lie. Well, you know what? We would rather you focus on. But he said in the Hammer and Nigel thing, he's like, I will always put school first before my anything. And he's like, that's a hill I'm willing to die on. So this was his priority. He said that it was his priority. He was tired of kids being indoctrinated in schools and colleges and all of that. So that's his priority. However, where is it? I know I got it somewhere. Oh, yeah, here it is. This is what I want to talk about. All right, so I follow and I try to subscribe to everybody's newsletters. And this is what they were doing on April 10th. Is this crap. This is embarrassing. You have JD Ford and Lakeisha Jackson and what was Nina? Was it Nina Brown? What was New Jack City? What was that guy's name from New Jack City? Yeah, it was Nino Brown in her Nino Brown outfit, and everybody else. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's Paul. I think that's Spencer. You had Andrea Hunley, I think, on the keyboard. I think that's Andrea Hunley. No, I don't see the braids. Oh yeah, there she. I think she's over there. And this is what they're doing. Hey, oh yeah, there she is. There's Andrea Hunley. And what are they doing? They're doing Who's Your Idol? And what day was this on? On the 10th. On the oh, okay, so they were done that night. But this is what they should be focusing on. Okay, I'll do that. Senate. Okay, 4825. But this is what they were doing on Thursday night. They were saying, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. With 2.5 weeks left of the session on all these things that should be prioritized.
Senate Democrats.
Embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. This is what they're focused on. Freaking, I can't believe it. It annoys me so bad that they are doing any of this stuff during session right now while we still have 2.5 weeks left. You know, this is why they don't want people like me in office, because this would be my life. They're getting paid $70,000 for 4 months of work, $70,000+, by the way, for 4 months of work. And they're doing this on Who's Your Idol. They're doing the basketball thing of tearing their ACL or tearing their Achilles and getting fucked up doing that. Like, when you are during session, you should be focused 24/7 on your job. This is a part of your job. Now, and what I mean by that is, like, I know a lot of these people have their primary job when they're not in session, and that's fine. I'm 100% fine on that. But these kind of things, don't want it. Wait until that's over. No fun until you guys stop fucking us over on taxes. No fun until the roads are fixed. No fun until the raping stops. That's it. That's all you should be focused on. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, Freak Convention is right. The whole thing is ridiculous. You know, and I saw, where was I? I saw another one. Haggard was also part of it too. Oh, Dan Elliott, that's what we did. Yeah, I don't know if he did anything. He was there with Garton. Dude, I don't think you guys realize how tall Dan Elliott is. He's like 6'7". Like, me and Haggard are about our same height. I'd never realized how tall Hunter Smith is. He's like height mogging everybody. But same thing. Like, everybody, yeah, Nino Brown. Yeah, what did I say? Extremely gay. Well said. Well said. You know, Hunter Smith and Haggard's wife, they actually did a good job. I was impressed with their singing. Not, you know, I'm not talking shit either. It's like they did a really good job. Hunter Smith knows how to play the guitar, at least that song. But is anyone twerking? No. Yeah, that's exactly what I would be doing. You are 100% right, Kif. I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing? Get back to work. These are 6.8 million lives that we are handling right now to try and make their life better. And we're out trying to get some participation trophy from Who's Your Idol. Really? Good job. You can play a riff on the guitar, and you're the best worst sounding on the microphone. Awesome. I would call them out 24/7. You see what Micah's doing right now? Do you imagine? Hey, everybody in the chat right now, all of you know me. I'm going to expect that most of you know me on a personal level. Like, do you imagine if I was an elected official, how much shit that I would start? You would see it, and like Micah Beckwith times 1,000 of I would be making fun of this stuff all the time. Hey, you guys want to go tear up your ACL? Well, I'm going to try and fix the property tax thing. I'm going to try and make sure there's no floodplain on Mars Hill. I'm going to try and get the more road funding and call out Hogsett, call out Mears, call out these courts and these judges. This is what I should be doing. This is what people are focusing on. I don't want any part of it. Oh, you want to go play some basketball? Only if it's full contact, because I'm going to knock the fuck out of these people so I don't get any more bad votes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break some noses. You're getting a knee in the balls. Even the women. All these women that think they have nuts. Yeah, you're getting a knee in them. You're going to be dangling that dice here pretty soon. Yeah, I'm talking shit. Get back to work. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was so mad about it. I didn't even know. I caught this by chance. I saw it on another person's Twitter, and I'm like, what the hell is this all about? Is this a real thing? And then when I was doing something for the show tonight, I found it. Like, this is some crap. How tall is Mirrors? He's like 6'5". He's a tall. He's a vampire. Vampires are normally tall, especially Nosferatu's like Mirrors. I'm like 5'9" in an RCH, something like that. With a 12-foot blank. Oh, I gotta bookmark this. I was trying to find this earlier and I found it. Did I talk about this on Saturday? How there's a freak out room. Polly knows the real word that I would use though. Where this reset room offers teens a place to cool down. I talked about it on Tuesday real quickly, and I thought this was the funniest thing ever. Like, we have such low emotional IQ in these communities that we need to have a reset room. It's a timeout room is basically what it is. You're freaking out. You're going to go into the calming room so you stop trying to not stab people or shoot them. Prison rules. Yeah, I think so. I think some we need to start pushing some shit in. I think we need to put them against the wall and start pushing their poop in. And time's up, boys. Person Rose is right. Anyway, this is the freak out room. All of you guys know what I'm really calling this room. Polly knows exactly what I'm talking about this. Yeah, there are padded rooms. Which ones? Which rooms, though? Which padded rooms? What are you talking about? Some of you guys know what I'm gonna call this room, but it's so funny. This is what happens with feminism. You're probably thinking like, what are you talking about, Whitty? And I brought it up on Tuesday. Feminism turns women into whores. Whores brings on single moms. Single moms turns into beta males, and beta males turn into easily manipulated children, also low emotional IQ people. And that's the truth. And we can't have it. And this is really what the product of feminism has turned into. You have all these independent women that think that this is having a random bar hookup, having some random bar person nut inside of them and saying, whatever. And this is kind of funny too, helping Haitian students feel at home. Like, how does this make you feel at home? Maybe we should get some money from the Clinton Foundation. Maybe that'll make you feel more at home. The Boo Box. I'm telling you, the Boo Box is an innovative thing. This is what we should be doing. Sure, we'll have a padded room. We're also going to fill it with scorpions, and then we're going to make sure that we set you right. Think of like the Clockwork Orange without the lobotomy. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. They would be down for some ass fucking for sure. Yeah, they want some Chad cock. I can't wait for this. For me to hear about this in the next week. He was talking about butt fucking Moet and Jesse Brown. No, not wrong. I'm afraid they'd like it too much. Like they'd want to make eye contact. They say, that's all you got? Are you in yet? They're like the ones where where you have like regular farts where it's going like, well, their farts are like, because there's just been so much butt fucking. Like the hot dog down a hallway, but it's like for your anus. Oh yeah, good call on that. Oh, hold on, let's see if I can find that, Drew. So we don't have to talk about butt fucking anymore. What was it? Angela Ganate said, I think she brought it up. Don't I have? Okay, there we go. I notify now. Cool. Oh, wait a minute. That's a development. First, it was Forearm. Oh, okay. Actually, it wasn't his wrist, but it was his forearm. I don't care. Where's it at? I know I saw a picture of it. Photos of the board. Up by a classmate this morning. Well, I don't have. I've talked to the boy's mom, who pulled a police report, and our team at the Perry Township schools. Okay, so a 12-year-old girl is accused of bringing a razor blade to school, and another 12-year-old boy had his wrist cut. He received stitches. Oh, and a 12-year-old had a gun at a school, on a school bus. Sixth grader at the school had a gun on the bus. Dude, Perry Township is just turning into a fucking shithole. This is what happens, though. Yeah, no more butt fucking talk. Hilarious that the razor the suspect. Who are you, bow-tied racer? Do you follow me? You do. I might follow you back. I heard it was Burmese. So true, Flowers. Perry Township sucks. Yeah, I pulled my kids from Southport School due to violence. This has been going on for too many years. Time someone's held accountable. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing but real worded things about how bad the Southport. So the person one involvement suspect, a 12-year-old female. Victim. Oh, is it? Who has there was like an actual picture of it. Political spotlight in the chat. Let's go. Well, there was some crap. Burmese? Was it it was Burmese, right? No more. Oh, Southport stabbing. Is that what I'm going to look for? What are we talking about? Stabbing footage. Okay, well, first off, you got to learn how to spell stabbing. Well, that's not what I expected. All right. Someone send in a link. What am I going to do about this? Southport, child, knife. Should I put in Perry Township, maybe? Problem is, every time I put in Southport, they're talking about England. All right, we did Perry Township. How about that? Oh, here we go. That's something. Oxford 9. All right. 12-year-old suffered a gash that required stitches. He was cut on the wrist and forearms. Okay, so the child's mother said the girl brought the razor blade to cut a child's dreadlocks. She told with a malicious intent, the student was released to her parents. I mean, actually, this is so fucked up that this is. Hold on. Angela. Hold on. Is that? Yeah, I do. I think I have the best chat. I think my chat is better than Rob Kendall's chat. Okay, so yeah. It's actually not correct. It was not the boy's wrist, but his forearm. Really? Really? Because that kind of looks like his wrist right there. Perry Township covering for the girl that tried killing some dude, making him bleed out. How crazy is that? All right. Just updated. Okay, a student brought a razor blade to school, and another student was cut with a forearm. The victim immediately received attention and was released to the parents who took the student who made him brought the razor. May not have brought it with malicious intent. Actions have consequences. And disclose details. Blah 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 blah. I bet there's probably something on the Facebook group in Perry Township. Really? Hold on. Come on, fingers. There's a giant microphone in my way, and I can't type right. Teacher assault. Try that. Oh, damn. I didn't hear about this one. Jeez. Okay. Here's the text started. After he asked this different student to put her cell phone away. He said, please put it away. Why are you picking me? I said, I'm not. All the students to my right, I heard, I've had it. And this kid jumped over the road, blah, blah, blah. Damn. Gee, I wonder why nobody is wanting to be a teacher right now. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you have some savage when you tell them they need to put their phone away and they hop over a couple of desks and then they slug you in the fucking face. Gee, I wonder why nobody wants to be a teacher right now. Look into a case and the prosecutor's office reached out to him regarding the matter, saying they were looking into the case and they weighed potential charges against the student. A statement given that their office does not meet with juvenile suspects and their families, and the investigation will likely be the probation department as part of the investigation. So literally nothing is going to happen. Someone just messaged me on Facebook. I don't know how I even have Facebook open right now. Who's that? We're not doing smash or pass already, are we? Oh, okay. There it is. Oh, okay. Cool. Hold on. All right. Good call, Drew. Ooh, all right. Let's see. Little Burmese girl brought a razor blade to school and decided. Well, it showed it was March 5th, I think. Wasn't it? This 24 or 25? Oh, it's 24. Oh, yeah. I heard about this one. Okay. So I thought this was recent. Yeah, I remember this one. This is what I was telling a buddy. Not his kid is going to be joining preschool in like the next year or two, and I said, don't do public schools if you can avoid it. Anyway, let's see. That she was going to try and cut my son's best friend's dreadlocks. My son and friend were unaware that she had her blade and thought she had scissors. So Alex was trying to keep her from touching her friend's hair and pulled a razor blade and sliced my son's wrist. The school calls me and tells me it was a pretty deep, so he'll need stitches. I rushed there for the principal to tell me the little girl was waiting for her parent to come and pick her up, and I said, no, she needs to be locked up, and I want to press charges. Wait a minute, is this the kid? Is this the mom? Yeah, the school closed me. Yeah, she brought a razor blade to school with malicious intentions, regardless if it was meant for a child or not, got injured. This all happened around 8:30. The fact that the school didn't want to report to the police, and this child got suspended just got suspended is beyond me. This should never happen. If she's only 12-year-old and is bringing a razor blade to school and hiding them in her erasers, then she needs to be evaluated. I don't play about children. Okay. Off the school police officer that took the report, he said there's a 50-50 chance if the prosecutor office even picks up the case. Like if this little girl would have just went a bit deeper into the side and she would have nicked his main artery, and they make it sound like she basically did nothing wrong. Fuck this school district. I cannot make a report through the police department because it happened on school grounds. So they just keep deflecting. Edit again. So Facebook took down the picture of the cut before stitches, stating that there were numerous complaints regarding the image. The news can post it, but all right. So there we go. Unbelievable. Angelina. No. I bet she's a lib. No, mom? Cute puppy. Wait, I thought it was her kid. I thought it was a boy. Try to cut my son's best friend. My son and friend were unaware. But wait, she has like all she does is post about her daughters. Yeah, this is oh boy. Baby dads can be bitter too, not helping financially because you and the mom aren't on good terms, constantly trying to make things harder. Okay. I was right on that. Can't believe I had a baby by a man my baby smarter than. Oh, all right. So it's a lib shit. I thought. All right. What are you gonna do? Whatever happened to this guy anyway? Rob Gooding. Let me check my case real quick. Smasher pass. Ah, fucking hard pass, bro. Such the hardest of passes too. That's like white torta. Can't do it. You didn't. Rob Gooding. Say Rob. Try Rob. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I just checked my case, but looks like nothing happened. Is there any way to find out if somebody stole a teacher? Robert Gooding. It's all about Cuba Gooding Jr. Hey, do you know Outbreak came out this month? 10 years, 30 years ago? I don't see anything on it. All right, what are you going to do? Yeah, but the schools are doing a fantastic job. They can't even protect their own children from some Burmese chick that says, I'm going to cut your dreadlocks off. This is so funny, but not really funny. I was at the Greenwood BMV like a month or two ago, titling a car, and there was this Burmese family. And I've talked about this before, but there was this Burmese family, and the little girl, there was like a little boy, a little girl, I believe, and like a teenage boy. And the little girl and little boy just kept messing around the entire time, like running around me and then like poking at me too. And it was so busy during that BMV, we had to wait outside on the sidewalk. And so the dad finally shows up because he had to park far away because parking was a sumbitch that day. And there's like a laneway that cars can drive through. And he was not even paying attention to the little boy. He was just letting him run back and forth, but on like grass where this laneway was. So like cars are going through this area to try and park, and he's not even paying attention to the little boy doing this whole thing. So this whole story totally checks out. And this is what I was pointing out when I said the Burmese people, their culture is crap. They have very little accountability. This is why all these other Burmese are leaving their home country and coming down here, because they're getting free money from us while they're cutting up your children. But go ahead, because I know that mom is probably a lib shit, and she'll just vote for more open borders while her kid will get stabbed or cut and then bleed to death. But go ahead, because that totally checks out now. Anyway. All right. I got like 2 more stories. There was this really funny one that I was going to do. It was kind of funny, and I was doing research on it. It was about fat black women. Where is it? It was, yeah, from... All right. Oh, I had the right one. Okay. So this was about inside the free program helping renters in indie courts. And this has been a long time coming for us to talk about this whole thing, because evictions is always a hot topic in Marion County, and people like Jesse Brown, right in my eye. I was always saying that it was even funnier today. Some guy who works for the city was like, something about housing being a human right. It's not a human right. Housing is not a human right. I just let you know that right now. It is a privilege, and that's the truth. There's nowhere where anything says that you have the right, that you are supposed to be supplied this. Like freedom is a right, free speech is a right, housing is not a right, somewhere to take a poop is not a right. I know all this stuff about poop today. So I was reading this whole thing, and there was something about. Hold on, is not the article? Hold on. There was thing on there about like black women have a higher maternal death. And I was like, that's really interesting because we've had this talk so many times now about black women and maternal deaths. So I did a little bit of research real quick. Crap, is it? No, I saw it. Can't believe I lost it. It was on my laptop. Hold on. Maybe I have it on culture. Oh, there it is. Goofed up. Okay. There it is. All right, this was from the Indianapolis Recorder. Our favorite, yeah, but we get screwed on SB1. Yeah, exactly. All our money going to useless projects, and we can't even get the roads fixed. We can't get property taxes fixed. That's why I'm like, this is you have two options. Either you have someone with like Micah, or you have someone like Destiny. That's all you're going to get. And which one would you rather have? You want to get fucked slowly or get fucked hard right now? So anyway, empowering black expecting mothers in Martindale Brightwood. So they talk about the stark disparity underscores the urgent need for accessible, culturally competent healthcare resources for black expecting mothers. Now, Victoria Wilborn, our favorite Democrat state representative, the bitch of the century, she lost her mind the other day asking some doctor, or I think he was a doctor, about, hey, don't you know black people heal differently than white people? He's like, this bill has nothing to do with that. And she got so mad to the point that Chris Judy told her to chill the fuck out. And then what's even funnier is that Chris Lowry guy, you remember the guy who ran against, I think it was Hunter Smith. He bought a black kid. He goes on like a little rant on Twitter and then tags Indie Reporter. And then we just kind of mog him a little bit on there. But, and again, no traction at all. Because Chris Lowry is such a fucking joke in Hamilton County that he just wants to buy more black children and then use them as political tools so he can try and run for office and win office so he can try and kill more babies. So anyway, particularly in underserved, so they're saying Martindale Brightwood has the maternal black mortality rate for women was 50.3 deaths per 100,000 compared to white people, which is 14.5, 12.4 for Hispanics, and 10.7 for Asians. So what the crap? Oh, that's right. Hold on. I got the wrong Chat GPT. So I had looked into this a while back, and I was kind of, this is what Democrats like to do a lot. There it is. And healthcare is not a right either. Yeah, 100%, Drew. I completely agree with that, by the way. Healthcare is not a right. There are so many things that are not a right, but the problem is Democrats want to make everything into a right. Like, do I have the right to just whip my pee-pee out and just start jerking off on the steps of a church? Because that's what I saw happen one time. So I did just some real quick and dirty Chat GPT stuff. Give me the top reason. Oh, give it to me in percentages for maternity worth. Black women, 69.9. So I don't know if this. Here it is. 50.3 deaths. Like I said, this is just some quick and dirty Chat GPT stuff. Black women are nearly 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. And so I was like, it goes on here to say like 80% of the maternal deaths are preventable, meaning access to better health care and timely response could have saved lives. And I go, what maternal deaths are preventable? Severe bleeding, women in the chat, please tell me what some of this shit is. I mean, for the real women, I'm not talking about fake women. I'm talking about the real ladies, the real ladies, the real based women of the Witty Review chat. Tell me what your experience is with having the kiddos. So some of it is hemorrhaging, dangerous high blood pressure, heart muscle disease, like early signs of it, infections, and blood clots. And key stats of preventability. 84% of pregnancy-related deaths in the U.S. were deemed preventable by maternal mortality review committees. This includes clinical care failures, communication gaps, missed warning signs, and racism. Racism is killing black women, and this is one of the preventable things so we can save the black women. So there's less maternal deaths, which was the craziest thing I've seen from ChatGPT so far anyway. And I was like, all right, well, shut the fuck up, first off. I couldn't believe it. So powerful. I said, what maternal deaths are preventable in black women? So cardiovascular conditions, misdiagnosed symptoms like fatigue or shortness of breath. Preventable if there's an early screening, monitoring, and response. Nearly 1 in 3 pregnancy-related deaths in black women are due to heart conditions. High blood pressure. Black women are 60% more likely to develop preeclampsia and more than likely die from it. So there's high blood pressure in black women. Yeah, I know, right? Right, Special Power? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Listen, there's other women in the chat that I want to get their opinion. You do have that, right? I have a right. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're not. Well, all right, Drew, you're right. I'm wrong. You're right. I do have the right to whip my little witty out and just start playing with it, and on the steps of a church. It's so wrong, though. All right, so hemorrhaging, delays in recognizing or treating bleeding. Inadequate monitoring. Black women are 60% more likely to develop a preeclampsia. You might have to make sure. I had issues with not clotting. I kept bleeding, but it was an easy fix. I delivered at a hospital in India, and I am not a minority, and they treated me like I needed to keep my legs closed. There's so many jokes with that right now. I feel like a lot of the issues in the world right now could be solved with that exact last sentence. and guys not being fucking gooners too, of course. Infections, mental health and substance, suicide, overdose, which this is what you will see a lot too. Is that you'll see a lot of these maternal deaths are from overdosing. It's mostly in white women. I think it's mostly in white women, though. Sounds like the same risk for both white. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I said I'm just doing quick and dirty Chat GPT stuff. I remember Indie Capital Chronicle having something like this, or Indie Star, and whenever people like Shelly Yoder would talk about the maternity deaths, I would point this out. It's like, well, maybe you guys should stop fucking doing heroin, or maybe these women should stop doing drugs and they won't die as fast. I'm just pointing this out. I'm a white male, but no pooping allowed. So I was like, all right, well, I wonder if obesity has anything to do with it. Like, is it all these fat black women that are dying? Does that have anything to do with it? Because I feel like, if you're fat, then you're going to have a higher chance of all of these things, whether it's hypertension or high blood pressure, hypertension, heart failure, things that you're just not healthy with. Maybe if you lay off the fucking Cheetos, it wouldn't be such a bad idea. I'll really call you a he, she. Yeah. Hey, what do you know? So true. Diabetes, yeah. So the bottom line is about 90% of pregnancy-related deaths in black women are preventable, according to several state-level reviews. Funny enough, California, Illinois, and Georgia. These deaths aren't about biology. They're about bias, inaction, and structural failures in care. They're not putting this, but AKA racism. Racism is the reason why black women why there's such a high maternal rate in black women. It's but like, oh, great. This is, they'll get arrested for it. That's the thing. I think that's the point. Special Power. I think that's the most important point, is that it depends on like where you are in life. Not where you are in life, but like what condition your life habits are. Like, are you on the street? Were you letting some hobo nut inside of you so you can get little higher doses of fentanyl? Like, there's so many other questions involved with this, and there was a study on that too. And in Indiana, especially, it was overdoses were like the top thing. So funny enough, the only reason I point this out is because since I was doing some quick and dirty chat GPT, I wanted to see like how fat women are by race. So it turns out non-Hispanic black women are the highest at 56.9%. Hispanic women, no shocker, at 48.4%. Non-Hispanic white women, 39.8%. Here's a dramatic drop-off. Asian women, 16.8%, which has been crazy for me. I couldn't believe the biggest, almost 40% for white women down to Asian women that are 16.8%. I would have never guessed that. Are obese. It was crazy. So I'm like, you know what? What about guys? You know, if we're going to play this whole race card, what about guys then? Turns out Hispanic men are 45% obesity rate. Non-Hispanic white men, 44%. Black guys, 41%, 41.1%, and non-Hispanic Asian men are 17.5%. Very funny that non-Hispanic Asian women, which I'm not exactly sure why they put that, non-Hispanic Asian women, like how many Hispanic Asian men do you know? Not so many. That they're very similar. But of course, they all have the same body type, which obviously confuses everybody with the... Were we talking about Tahoe Gate tonight? No, we were talking... Well, Tahoe Gate's already over. We were talking about the SB1 thing with Micah and Rob Kendall. But yeah, eating habits does have a big deal with it too. And this is funny because I live in Marion County and I go to the gas stations and I'll see what... Gee, I wonder... We play the game, obviously. I wonder what they're buying today. So you see a lot of Hispanics. If you go to like a Speedway, they're all buying like the garbage hot dogs or the pizza. There's actually like a new gas station by me, very nice, on like 70 in Lyndhurst, or no, 70 in Holt, and Mystery Machine. Yeah, Mystery Machine. Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick too. That was really good. Tyler Mitchell in the house, by the way. He had like one of the best. He won for meme of the week for sure. Where is it? This is really funny. I'm breaking protocol right now, but he had the funniest meme ever. Where is it? Hold on. Who was it? Was it Caitlin Lange maybe? Or was it that other chick from Indie Star? Yep, there it is. Plot twist. It was from Kayla Dwyer. All right, so this was the original picture where the Tahoe is back. We talked about this last week. And then Tyler Mitchell, who's in the chat right now, big W for Tyler Mitchell. Funniest one of the week, for sure, was he put the Jurassic Park vehicle in there in place of the Tahoe. Super fucking funny. I thought it was great. So obviously, us at Indie Reporter reposted it, and I think Micah did too. Omar loved it. So that was really funny. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's all about the eating habits. So like I'll go it's very funny, like depending on which side of Indy that you're on. If you're on the east side of Indy, or there's a higher density of the black community, not so much on the west side. But if you go to the west side, they're all the Hispanics are eating crap from the gas station. There's like a pizza joint, and the only reason I'm bringing up this one gas station is because I'll normally go there because I have to, if I'm going anywhere, I'm usually taking the highway. And I'll just stop there to get a water or something or fuel. And they'll get like the gas station pizza or the gas station hot dogs. And then if you're on the east side, what's happening is that you're seeing these, and it's not even just the adults, it's the children too. They're super fucking fat. And then they're eating like Cheetos and hot fries and having Mountain Dew. If Faygo was still around, I'm sure they would be drinking that too. But Faygo is kind of delicious. It's underrated. Especially orange Faygo. But, they're all eating crap. They're not having anything good, and you can blame it on food deserts all you want, but here's the deal about food deserts. people, you're not going to put a business in an area unless you're going to be making money on it. No, everybody knows that. That is basic common sense. So if you put a grocery store in where there's a food desert and these assholes start stealing shit from there, well, there's a good chance that they're going to say, all right, we're out of here. We're not going to be wasting our money, wasting our time, and just so we can allow these hooligans, these savages, these animals just to take food. We have to make a profit. Otherwise, we can't be here. We're trying to do this for you, and you're totally abusing this. And so, you know what? Just go back to your Speedway hot fries, and then you can still keep being fat. So, yeah. That's all, which I thought it was interesting. But, you know, I kind of wanted to get the women in the chat, too. I wanted to get their opinion on this whole thing. And then, you know, they wanted the prenatal and postnatal care. The birth blessing doula service. Maybe if I can find it real quick. Well, let's see if I could find that Victoria Wilburn thing real quick. I'm sure everything that I talk crap about is going to go to, there's somebody watching. Loses it. Nope. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Hold on. Oh, it's not here. All right, hold on. Here we go.
I don't want to say bulldozer. I don't want to say. I don't see how this bill would weigh into that debate at all. The goal is to have the absolute best care for the patient, and each patient
and that includes
is an
learning
individual.
about their multicultural backgrounds and race. Thank you.
Why should any doctor have to learn about their multicultural background and their race? A human is a human. Now, at first you're saying, oh, we're all created equally, but then at the same time you're saying we should have a specialness to us. We should have special privilege. We should have privilege on how we are taken care of. Yeah, get some pots and plants. Well, you know, they'll take pot the wrong way. That's why. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. I mean, it's not it's like everything else. Hey, guess what? This isn't going to be the be all end all thing, but if you are putting good stuff into your body and trying to take care of your body while there is another human inside of you, there's a good chance that you're going to have less complications. Not saying always, but your chances of it not happening, it gets better. So anyway, Victoria Wilburn, she lost her mind talking to this dude. Hold on, let me disappear for a second so you can see him. This is the guy. Oh, hold on. This is the guy right here. This is Wilburn right here. This is the lady that made false accusations about me, by the way, to the Capitol Police. This fucking lunatic right here.
I don't see how this bill would weigh into that debate at all. The goal is to have the absolute best care for the patient, and each patient
and that includes
is an
learning
individual.
about their multicultural backgrounds and race. Thank you.
By the way, this lady is I believe is a teacher for IU. This is why I've been saying for a long time, you can't trust doctors anymore. Yeah, that should have been happening a long time, Drew. It's like doctors are jokes right now. I can't take them serious at all. Any doctor.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Representative Garcia Wilburn, I appreciate your passion, and I am a big fan of hard-hitting questions. I don't mind that, but I want you to try to resist the temptation to argue with the witness, okay? Just ask the questions. We'll have an opportunity for a committee debate at the end.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Cindy Bazinski, and I'm a practicing physician.
Oh, yeah, this woman talks about how white white kids had to give, like, it's okay, about trans stuff. It's all on the reporter thing, on the reporter. Should I even? I mean, this is actually really good. If you ever want to lose faith in doctors, this would be the perfect thing to watch, and because this is happening, and not just the hospitals that you go to, but also what kids are being taught right now. I put it in the chat. Go ahead and watch that if you want. All right. It's very interesting, to be honest with you. So hold on. Now, Kip said something about March 8th. Is that what it was? Hold on. You had a timestamp for it for March 8th. And there it is. Okay. 4/8. Send us. All right. We're going to watch this real quick because I'm very interested. Okay. Actually, you know what? In case you guys ever want to get bored, if you ever want to go down the rabbit hole on like trying to find stuff, this is how you do it. You go to the iga.in.gov, you click on that, and then you click on session, and then you click on videos and recordings, and then that's where all the recordings are. But then you got to figure out where all the recordings are going to be at, because there's one for others, there's one for House, and there's one for Senate. And by the way, if you're trying to figure out why does the House have a Roads and Transportation committee, but the Senate does, that's actually under Homeland Security. Homeland Security and Transportation, but each of the Senate and the House have their own sessions too. So if you want to do that, bam, and then we're gonna look up March 8th. Oh wait, there's March 8th. April 8th. My bad, and it was at 1:14. If my strongest warrior giving me good information here, 141.
Hey, this bill is now placed. There is their discussion. All right, the chair hears none. This bill is now placed on its passage. The machine is open for voting.
Hold on. 1634.
All right, 0 next. Continue the roll. Senator Rogers to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. This legislation is a priority bill for the Department of Education.
So when they say the priority bill, is like that's top of the list. We all know what a priority bill is, but whenever they talk about different languages and what they want done, it depends on the department. They'll say it's a priority bill under the governor, that kind of stuff.
The 2023 session of the General Assembly, we started addressing reading skills with House Bill 1558, sponsored by Senator Freeman. Then in the 24 session, we followed up with Senate Bill 1, Every Child Learns to Read. That work has paid off, and Indiana went from 19th in the country to 6th in reading proficiency, a significant improvement, many thanks to educators that implemented the science of reading. Unfortunately, Indiana's math proficiency is not improving. According to the department, the 2024 iLearn exam results for the math portion resulted in a little over 40% of the students being proficient.
Special power? One would say that's racist.
This is similar to the 2023 data. To me, this is unacceptable, and House Bill 1634 seeks to improve math fluency here in Indiana. Just as we did with reading legislation, the department is required to review all of the accredited teacher preparation programs and provide guidance for improvement. It requires all school corporations and charter schools to automatically enroll in a middle school advanced math course a student that scores above proficiency on the iLearn assessment and earns a C or higher in the student's math coursework. States that have implemented this policy of auto-enroll are North Carolina, Texas, Washington, Maryland, and Virginia, along with Kentucky, and Ohio is considering a similar policy this year. School corporations must provide notice to the parents that their child has been automatically enrolled, and it allows the parent to opt their child out. It requires the department to, starting July 1st of 26, and every year thereafter to prepare a report to provide to the Legislative Council the number of students by grade in school who scored above proficiency on the iLearn assessment, as well as the number of students that were enrolled in an advanced math course in the following year. It requires schools starting in the 26-27 school year to administer to all students in grades K through 2 a screener approved by the department. This will measure the foundation numeracy and computation skills of each student. The results would be provided to the parents and the department so we can identify students that need extra help. Starting in 26-27 school year, students in K through 8 that are struggling with math to be provided targeted intervention as information provided by the department. This is a start on ensuring that students have the foundational skills to learn and succeed at math, which is needed as we can.
Senator Freeman to speak on the bill.
Oh, Freeman voted against it. I want to know why. I wasn't really paying attention to this bill.
Thank you, members of the Senate. This bill, 90% of it's great. Saw a need in reading a few years ago. We addressed that. There's certainly a need in math. We should address that. But we are incapable in this building of backing away from the table and being done. At the very year, the same time we're doing 1002, we're going to deregulate schools. Deregulate schools. Let's get out of the requirement business. Instead of just fixing math, now we're going to require that a kid that gets a C in math and passes a test is going to be automatically enrolled in math. If we're for rigor, by the way, the C in the Freeman household doesn't work. That's not rigor, right? A C is not rigor. How about an A? If we're going to demand rigor, let's demand rigor. But I don't think we should be requiring the schools to enroll anybody with a C.
Thank you, Senator. Further discussion. Senator Rogers, would you like to close? Senator Rogers to close.
Very interesting.
Thank you, Senator Freeman, for your comments. But I just want to mention that we want to encourage students to do better. We want students to feel as though they're doing better. And so this is an important step forward to ensure that a child that may not think they're doing so well, that now, hey, I'm in the advanced class, I have to work hard. We have to do something. We cannot stand by and allow only 40% of our students to be proficient. Please support Senate Bill 1634.
Thank you, Senator. All right, this bill is now placed on its passage and the machine is open for voting.
The Carrasco Young Freeman voted against it. All the Democrats, I think most of the Democrats, who else? They voted against it. Well, that's interesting. Altink, Nightmare Fuel. The guy looks like Nightmare Fuel. Holmes, G. Walker, Kyle Walker voted against it too. That's incredible. So something I noticed too, I want to point out. I have noticed, oh, you can't even see it. Carrasco will vote the same with Freeman. What the shit? So I have noticed that Freeman will vote with Carrasco a lot of the times. I thought it was very interesting. Advanced math is a game, the con game. Yeah, feels like there's a scam going on. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'm too retarded to figure it out. Might have to.
All right, the machine is now closed. Clerk will tally the roll.
That's not third reading.
38 ayes, 11 noes. This bill is passed. Shall the title of the bill remain the title of the act? Thank you. Secretary will inform the House of the passage of the bill.
So anyway, all right. Well, it's getting late. It's 11:30 now. I've been on here long enough. If you want to match math, then sign up. See, that was my point. Funny you point that out, D2 Indy, because I said the same thing. I don't think that these kids should be automatically enrolled. I think that they should be like, if anything, the kids should know and the parents should know, hey, your kid did fucking amazing. And it might not be a bad idea for them to go into advanced math. And if that's what you're going to do, that's fine. Kid gets a C in math class, then they are enrolled in advanced class. Wait, what the fuck? Really? That's insane. So wait a minute. So if you're getting enrolled, where's Polly at? They would know this. They would know this too. So they don't have to give support to the kids who are struggling because they're already in advanced math. How do they get into advanced math if you're getting a C though? What's the line on this thing? Because I was looking through the fiscal on it. Math screener. Schools may currently apply for a DOA to receive a formative assessment grant. Oh, that's what it is. That's what they're going for. They want the grant for student specimens, including approved math screeners. Grant awards are dependent on the amount appropriated for these purposes in the math and in fiscal year 24. Approximately $14.1 million is appropriated to the formative assessment grant, to which Department of Education awarded participating schools up to $7 per assessment. Approximately $38,000 kindergarten through second grade students did not receive a math screener, but would. So this is going to be get a C in algebra, so we are putting in calculus. Yeah, that's crazy. Why are they doing that though? Is it to get more money? Provisions in the bill are estimated to require public schools to provide an additional 31,000 math screeners statewide. That seems not good to me. And it's probably off the school's dime, right? Because they're probably not getting extra. This is like the whole book thing too. Like the books are supposed to be like the students don't have to pay for the books anymore. The parents don't have to pay for the books anymore, but the schools are. They're not getting enough money. College credit, high school classes are also bullshit. Crazy. So Kiff, am I right on this? Like this looks like a money scam. Who voted for this in the House? Not that it. Roll call. Nobody voted against it. An education committee. I didn't think so. Oh, okay. So I am right. I am right. This seems like a money scam because what they're saying is schools may currently apply for a Department of Education to receive a formative assessment grant. So the schools can apply for a grant to pay for the student assessments, including approved math screeners. Grant awards are dependent on the amount of appropriated for these purposes and the number of assessments reported. So they can apply for a grant for these math assessments, but who knows who's doing and including approved math screeners. Is this a scam so the schools can make up some of their money? And if the kid gets anxiety and depressed because they can't do well, then boom, they're oh yeah. And then you bring in more mental health professionals too, which would require more money. That's why, some of you may not agree, but this is why I've been 100% against all these mental health programs because they are nothing but a scam. It's just like the homeless stuff. It's like recycling. It's all these things that the industrial complex of it. It's all this stuff is just a way for the next scam to happen. Agree with it or don't agree with it, but everything is always a scam. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and there's just too many psychopaths out there that will use this advantage in their favor. All right, and in fiscal year 2025, approximately $14.1 million was appropriated to the formative assessment grant through the Department of Education award participants up to $7 per assessment, approximating 38,600 kindergarten through second grade students did not receive a math screener, but would have otherwise been required to under the bill. So where are they going to get the money for this? Because HB 1001, thank you, Kip. Stronger soldier, like I said, Teshka GDP, bro. Math screening provisions in the bill are estimated to require a public school to provide an additional 31,850 math screeners statewide. This could represent a public school expenditure increase dependent on the screener selected by a school and the amount appropriated. So the schools are going to have to pay for it. Its public schools will also experience an expenditure and or workload increase to provide math-related intervention. This spells nothing but bad. I mean, if any no, SMRT provisions of the bill are estimated to require public schools provide an additional 31,000. Yeah, this is so bad. This seems like an awful bill. But this is why some of these bills I will not pay attention to, because look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 things in this bill, and I'm a little too stupid to understand all this stuff. And I, obviously you're seeing me talk out loud to understand it out loud. Like I'm like, hey, give me like a little short paragraph and I'll figure out the rest. But especially at the beginning. But this sounds awfully sketchy. So they're going to have to get a math screener. It's going to be it has to be paid for by the school. The school that's already not, that they're getting a bump in pay or bump in money, but will they have enough money to pay for the math screener? They also have this book problem too that the schools are having to pay for, because so they don't have to have the parents pay for any books, but all the books are going to be done through iPad anyway. The same iPad, they're getting thrown or lost or stolen in public schools. So, oh, D2 Indy, you just not. This is why you were saying don't talk bad about boomers. Yeah, D2 Indy. That has been my point for the last couple of years. Where did we go wrong with everything? Because I graduated high school in 2002, and I don't remember any of these problems. Also, yours truly is kind of an idiot, but that's besides the point. But like, we didn't have any of these issues. We didn't have SEL. We didn't have all these extra programs. We didn't have to have mental health professionals. It was, hey, this is how 2 + 2 = 4. Investment stock in a screener company. That's a great question too. Okay, hold on. Indiana. That screen company just become illuminate, deluminate. You remember that movie? It's something I'm gonna have to look into, but who's getting paid? Somebody's getting paid. Somebody's getting something. We'll have to look through the campaign reports, I think, and find out some company that's since there was a Teshka bill. Who co-sponsored it though? Was it Rogers? So we'll have to go through Rogers and Teshka, but it's probably through Teshka. So we'll have to go through the campaign reports. I'll have to go through his campaign reports again. Something feels off on this whole thing. Is this Teshka? It's like, hey, this seems like a really good idea. But like, I'll have to go back to the original introduction of it, so I can figure out what he said and find out what he said of like, why is this thing happening? I'm sure he's just gonna put some bullshit through there and find out who, because nobody voted against it in committee. But who voted against it in the House? Nobody voted against it in the House. So either they don't know or they don't care. Very interesting. Anyway, okay. Online and password program they add. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, it's so true. Every program they add gets worse. Like the more they try fixing things, the worse it gets. It's like, oh, we just need an extra thing. Oh, what about this thing? Oh, this thing isn't working. Well, let's add that thing. Let's have an oversight for that thing and have a study for it for the next 3 years to see if that thing is actually working. And where do all these money go to? All the consulting firms. Yeah, that keeps changing because like, hey, we have a new idea. Let's do this. Well, what do we do with the old thing? You know, as much as I don't like Delaney, he had a point one time where he said, we keep changing this whole thing. I think even Ireland said it one time too to Jenner. It's like, so we keep changing these things, but it's like, how do we measure it? How do we make sure that it's actually working? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were all at the party singing "Sweet Caroline." That's what happened. February 11th too. This thing was like a week or two before the end of session, so they're going to try and push everything through there. And it's through appropriations too. See, appropriations is really what I gotta check. Committee reports. There's got to be one through appropriations, right? 3.3 vote sheet. Education Appropriations. Everybody voted yes except for Liz Brown and Aaron Freeman. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now I have to look at that. Look at personal stock invested. Yeah. Well, I got to figure out which companies actually do it because that's going to be a whole nother rabbit hole. But anyway, all right, everybody. It's getting late. Also, dog has to take a shit. So, love you guys. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming by and listening to me rant. I'm going to look into this too. If you roll back to education, I think so too. We get rid of the actual federal Department of Education. I think that would be a big W right there. Thoughts on this? Something for you guys to think about. Let me know. This has always been my thought. There has to be a way to measure progress. And so how do we do that? Because obviously people do not like standardized testing, but then what do we do in place of it? That's all I'm saying. Like if you're going to, hey, I have a way to test this thing and it works. So what do I do to test this thing? That's all I'm saying. But with that,